6 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I will look to buy low and trade for this week. The first guy, Zach Greinke of the Houston Astros. So far this season, it's been a mixed bag of results for Greinke. On the season, 44 and 2/3 of an inning, 2-1 record, 48 hits, 21 earned runs, 7 home runs given up, 10 walks, 35 strikeouts, a 4.23 ERA, and a 1.30 whip with 4 quality starts. So right here, Greinke, the last 3 outings, they've just been a nightmare for him, where he just can't get past the 4th inning in those games. And Greinke, his next start is tomorrow versus the Texas Rangers, and hopefully he could turn things around, because the last 3 games, like I mentioned, they've been tough. But I still believe in Greinke that he could have a good season. The Houston Astros, I still think they're a decent ball club with good hitting, and they could get him run support. And Greinke, he just has to keep the ball on the ground here like he has throughout his career. But the home run ball has definitely hurt him so far, giving up 7 home runs so far this year in 8 starts. So the last 3 outings here for Greinke: April 28th versus Seattle, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, giving up 2 walks, 5 Ks, a 9 ERA, a 1.50 whip. May 4th at the Yankees, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 6.75 ERA, and a 1.75 whip. And then May 9th versus Toronto, 4 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, 4 strikeouts, a 9 ERA, and a 2.25 whip. So far, he's definitely struggling big time right now, is Greinke, in the last few starts. But they've been tough matchups, 2 out of the 3, versus good offenses like the Yankees and Toronto. And right now, while he's struggling and he can't really hit the strike zone or get many outs and pass the 4th inning, I definitely will go out there and try to make a move for Greinke. His value is super low right now, and I still believe he's got a lot left in the tank, and he's a good pitcher. So right now, go out there and buy low on Greinke. The second pitcher is Jacob Grom of the New York Mets. I know it still will be very hard to weasel a deal here for DeGrom in your fantasy leagues, even though he's on the injured list now with a side issue. Been hurting him the last couple weeks here on his pitching side, on his right side tightness. So the Mets, probably more precautionary than more of a big concern and injury. They have put him on the IL. And DeGrom, another spectacular season for the 2-time Cy Young winner. So far in the season, 40 innings pitched, 3-2 record, 17 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 7 walks, 65 strikeouts, and 0.68 ERA, 0.60 whip, and 5 quality starts. So it's an amazing 65 strikeouts in 40 innings for DeGrom. And this guy, he gets better with age, but right now, we'll see how long this injury holds him out. But right now, obviously, his value is still going to be super high, but it's going to be lower than it was, obviously, when he was out there pitching. So there's no timetable for his return. I'm expecting him to miss probably 2 or 3 starts at most here for the New York Mets is DeGrom. And this Met team now, all of a sudden, they're starting to hit the baseball. But obviously, when DeGrom's been out there pitching, they've had trouble scoring this season for him. So the last 3 outings for DeGrom: April 23rd versus Washington, complete game in that one, 2-hit shutout, 15 strikeouts, and an 0.22 whip, and a quality start. April 28th versus Boston, 6 innings, 1 run earned in that one, 3 hits, and a loss in a tough luck loser, losing 1-0, 9 Ks, a walk, 1.5 ERA, and 0.67 whip, and a quality start. And May 9th versus the Diamondbacks, where he left that ball game early. Definitely control issues, and tightness was definitely a factor. 5 innings, got the win, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 Ks, a 1.80 ERA, and a 0.80 whip. So DeGrom, like I said, he should be back in early June. Probably missed 2 or 3 starts, but I would definitely try to talk to the DeGrom owner in my league and see if you could get him on a little bit of a discount. You're still going to have to pay a premium price and give up one of your top players or 2 on your team. But hey, I definitely think it's worth a shot, and his value is definitely lower than it was last week when it was at an all-time high. The next pitcher is Bundy of the Los Angeles Angels. So Bundy, it's been a tough season so far for Bundy, and he just can't get things going, and even fantasy owners are getting tired of him. So he's been dropped in 5% of fantasy leagues this week. On the season, 39 in the 3rd inning, 0-4 record here for Bundy, 35 hits, 22 earned runs, 5 home runs given up, 10 walks, 43 strikeouts, a 5.03 ERA, and a 1.14 whip with 5 quality starts. So Bundy, he's getting the quality starts still, but the ERA is definitely troubling at a 5.03. He's not getting victories. This Los Angeles Angel team, they haven't hit the baseball well at all this season pretty much here for Bundy. And Bundy, it's just been tough for him. Maybe last season was just a fluke. It was only a 2-month season, and he had a great season last year, no doubt about it. But right now, he just can't get things going, and we'll see in his next start, May 15th at Boston, if he could turn it around and get things going. But right now, his value's super low. Right now, managers are dropping him, and you don't got to give up much at all to get Bundy. You could get him on a real discount. So the last 3 outings here for Bundy: April 25th at Houston, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a homer, giving up a walk, 6 strikeouts, a 3 ERA, 0.67 whip, and a quality start. May 2nd at Seattle, 6 innings, got the loss in that one, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, a 3 ERA, 1 whip, and a quality start. And May 8th versus the Dodgers, he got hit like a piñata in that one. 3 1/3 got the loss, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a 16.20 ERA, and a 1.80 whip. So Bundy, it was just a bad outing versus the Dodgers. That obviously probably the best team in all of Major League Baseball. That definitely inflated that ERA past the 5. But right now, I would go out there and get him. And like I said, he should be at a cheap discount this week. The next pitcher is Dallas Kykel of the Chicago White Sox. Kykel, he's been a weird player the last few seasons to own in fantasy. 1 great year, 1 horrible year. And so far this season, it hasn't been that good for Kykel. 43 2/3 of an inning, 2-1 record, 40 hits, 22 earned runs, 4 home runs given up, 15 walks, only 18 strikeouts, which he was never a high strikeout guy. But only to have 18 in 43 innings is troubling. A 4.53 ERA and a 1.26 whip with 2 quality starts. Kykel, he's had trouble hitting the strike zone. He's had trouble getting run support as well some nights, even though last night they got him a lot of run support, was the White Sox versus this Twin team. But he's still going deep into games. The strikeout numbers, they're never going to be there for Kykel. But right now with a 4.5 ERA, I think you could get him on the low, especially last night. I know he got the win, but like I said, the White Sox backed him up, scoring 13 runs in that ball game. So the last few outings here for Kykel: April 30th versus Cleveland, 6 innings, got the loss in that one, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks, a 6 ERA, 1.33 whip, and no quality start, obviously. May 5th at Cincinnati, it was a good ball game for him. 7 innings, no decision, 2 hits given up, 3 walks, a strikeout, no runs, 0.71 whip, and a quality start. And then last night versus Minnesota, 5 2/3, got the win, 8 hits given up, those 6 earned runs, a homer, a walk, a strikeout, a 9.53 ERA, and a 1.59 whip. So Kykel, he hasn't got a win now, only once in his last 5 outings. So right here, he's struggling to get wins. He's not hitting the strike zone and getting strikeouts, with only 18 so far this season. And last night, he got bombed pretty well, but that White Sox offense backed him up. I still think Kykel's going to bounce back. I still think he'll have a good season. And this White Sox team, they're in a pretty weak division. So I think Kykel, he'll get things going. He'll pitch well, and he's a player I definitely will look to buy low. And final pitch I will look to buy low this week's Chris Paddock of the San Diego Padres. So Paddock, he came off the injured list the other day here, and he only went 3 innings in that ball game. But so far in the season, it's been a struggle. 26 1/3 inning, 1-3 record, 29 hits, 14 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 8 walks, 26 strikeouts, a 4.78 ERA, and a 1.41 whip for Paddock. So Paddock, he's been struggling mightily, but he's a guy 2 seasons ago. He looked like one of the top 10 pitchers in all of Major League Baseball when he came up for the Padres and took the league by storm. And this guy, he's still a young guy, obviously, and I still think he could get back to form where he was 2 seasons ago. Obviously, he has a good team that's backing him on the offensive end over there in San Diego, and there's no reason for him to bounce back and get things going. So the last 3 outings here for Paddock: April 20th versus the Brewers, 5 innings, got the loss, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, a homer, giving up 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, a 9 ERA, a 1.40 whip. April 27th at the Diamondbacks, 5 1/3 got the loss, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, giving up 5 Ks, a 5.06 ERA, 1.13 whip. And then May 9th in his return from the injured list, he went 3 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks, no ERA, a 1.67 whip. So it was only 3 innings. I know versus a Giant team that isn't that great offensively, but he still went out there and he gave some fantasy owners a glimmer of hope. But obviously the 3 innings wasn't good to see. But now the real test for Paddock is versus the St. Louis Cardinals coming up on May 15th on Saturday. But right now, there's a lot of frustrated owners with Paddock. He's been dropped in 3% of fantasy leagues already this week. And right now, I think you could make a move for him and not have to give up much, because this guy's got tons of potential and he's on a great team. So that's a few pitches I would look to buy low and trade for here in week 6 of the fantasy baseball season.